Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Qigong. This is the Levy Tai Chi School. I am Lao Shi Paul Nettles. It is Saturday, July 3rd. Happy almost Independence Day. And this is, of course, the Saturday morning broadcast, which is usually done in conjunction with the Alexandria Museum of Art, who are closed this weekend for the holiday. So we're going to do class anyway, in the spirit of the AMoA class, with the addition of a cat on my mantelpiece and cats here and there and yon. You will notice I'm not outside. It's already blisteringly hot here, and so if you recall, we did survive last year. We went straight through summer, in and out. I can't do this morning at 10:30. It's just too hot. So we're back in the den, back in the old school. I do want to say very quickly, also, of course, because this is hosted by AMoA, and I am here as always by a generous grant from AMoA. I do want to mention that I realize that I am often a cheerleader for the museum. That is for a very good reason. We have an impressive museum. I dare say we have a world-class museum hidden in this little town. And if you don't know about it, you need to know about it. If you haven't been, you need to go. Museums are not stuffy, quiet things for upper-class white people. They're for everyone. Our museum is extremely inclusive, has kids classes, adult classes, has serious classes, has silly classes, has a wonderful teen program, has an amazing outreach program going on social media on numerous platforms, and is staffed by some amazing educators and curators, and you need to be aware of our museum. I want to say something interesting also that hit me last night. I was visiting with friends on the occasion of his 50th birthday, and he's a mindfulness counselor, very, very talented gentleman, very, very smart. And he said something last night that really has stuck with me, and I want to share it desperately with you. He said, the human mind is a time traveler. And it took me a moment for that to sink in, and it hit me like a stone. Our minds are hardwired to do certain things. We have a part of our mind, a very old part of our brain, called the amygdala. And the amygdala is there to keep us safe. It is to protect us from danger. It is the part of our brain, our talking mind, that will look at every possible opportunity and see how that could be a danger to us and attempt to protect us from that danger. So when we, for instance, go out in traffic in a car or on a bicycle or, heaven forbid, walking, our amygdala begins to keep us geared to a certain, dare I say, anxiety level, to be cautious of these giant, fast-moving, dangerous things, and works to keep us safe by showing us what could go wrong. Sound familiar? Spinning out these scenarios all the time, telling us how things could go horribly, horribly wrong and we could die. And it does this all the time. Even when we're idle, if we're sitting on the couch, our amygdala will find a way to worry about something to keep us safe. But then, of course, that can get very carried away and put us into a constant state of anxiety and fear and inaction. It can paralyze us. So we have this other cool thing in our brain, part of our brain, called the prefrontal cortex. It's a very new part of the brain, biologically speaking. And it lets us understand that this is not reality. these things our amygdala spins out for us that our mind thinks is real because it can only rely on the input coming from outside and from itself, and that sounds pretty real. Our imaginations are very, very good. Our prefrontal cortex says that's not real. You're not going to die if you take basic precautions, which the amygdala has trained us in. And we can, instead of roaming forward into what could happen and roaming backwards into what has happened and replaying those things as a warning, a lesson to ourselves, our prefrontal cortex says, stay here in the now. Stay right here. It'll be easier. You'll be happier. You'll be more settled, more focused. And we can train our prefrontal cortex by doing things like mindful breathing, walking, yoga, tai chi, qigong, zazen, singing, anything that requires focus, anything that brings our mind to the present and keeps it there, trains our prefrontal cortex to hold us in the present longer. Sounds like what we talk about here in qigong for the past couple years, doesn't it? It's exactly the same thing. We are engaging our body, in this case, or in the case of tai chi, to help our prefrontal cortex, help our mind stay focused on the immediate, on our movements, on our balance, on what we're doing next. Keep us in that moment of doing the posture, of staying slow and calm and doing it to the best of our ability every single time. And we simply train this part of our brain, this little lump of meat up here, to stay here, stay present, stay focused. Don't listen to the amygdala. The amygdala means well, and it's a very vital part of ourselves. It helped us become thinking, sentient beings. But it can be a little much, especially if you don't train it, especially if you don't train your prefrontal cortex to take you out of that animal reactive behavior and hold you in the present. So, little quick news. I am starting at the VA on the 6th of July. I have a temporary assignment there, I think about 3 months. Should be interesting. It will not impact Saturday morning classes. I will work Monday through Friday there. I will, of course, work at the brewery in the meantime and in the odd hours around that. And Saturday morning qigong will continue, as always, at AMoA. I am probably going to continue to put all private lessons on hold until things quieten down some and I have more opportunity. And I have been invited to begin teaching at the brewery, doing some brewery classes. So look for that in the future. That's not going to be immediate. I have far too much on my plate right now to jump into something else right now. But it will be something for the future. So if you're a Saturday morning museum class member, you are returning, no worries. We're not going nowhere. I realize I do have some beginners in the AMoA class. I don't know if they're able to watch today, but they've already been through 2 classes. I think we're going to move through class today in a more advanced manner. We're going to do very little talking, and we will continue the flow across postures, from posture to sow to posture to sow, and so forth. So, John and Jan and Daniel, I believe it's Daniel, was communicating with me about coming to class this Saturday. If you happen to be watching, keep in mind that this is a little more advanced. If you get lost, don't sweat it. The Saturday morning classes, as long as I have a beginner in there, will be much more beginner-oriented. For right now, just follow along, breathe deep, move slow, Exercise your prefrontal cortex. Live in the moment. Let's begin with our first sound. Breathe out. Good morning, Patty. And you're welcome. And thank you for being here. And I'm starting to wonder if anybody wants the man with the skinny legs these days. You know, I'm always surprised at how easy this is. How little time it takes. What benefits you can reap from it. There's so many layers of things that happen when you engage in this exercise for 30, 35, 40 minutes. The improvements, physical and mental, are manifold. And it's such a simple thing. We've known about this for so long. I don't understand why it's not more popular. But that's okay. You and I understand. We try to tell people when they're ready, the teacher appears. Don't forget to tell people about it. We used to harp on that quite a lot. 3 tries. 3 tries makes it stick in people's head. If you feel it's important, if you feel the benefits, if you've seen the benefits, tell somebody. Let somebody know. Keep telling them. You got to stay on them. Bring them to this marvelous place that we can self-generate with a little effort. I will see you next Saturday at the Alexandria Museum of Art. Depending on how things work with the VA, I may be able to resume the morning classes. I don't know. I don't know if it's probably a HIPAA violation actually to have a video going in these classes I'm going to be teaching, but we're going to see. So fingers crossed, watch this space, do all the things, keep spreading the word. Thank you for joining me. Next Saturday, AMoA, 3rd floor gallery, 2nd and Murray Street. You need to come. Also, before I forget, this Friday at 6 p.m. is the opening of the 35th, I think, September competition. Yours truly is in that show. I got a photograph in. I have seen some of the contenders. There is some serious high caliber work in that show. So reception is at 6 p.m. They'll do the awards and so forth, and of course the People's Choice stuff. So if you have the opportunity, definitely go see it. All right, until Friday or next Saturday morning, I will see you then. Until then, stay safe and be well.